Namaste, Hari Om. This module will cover pessimism as a subject and identify different aspects of this. Pessimism, in a way, is also can be understood with a situation. Let's look at the situation. Imagine two friends on a casual walk through a school garden, find a flower bed. One sees this flower bed started sprouting on a spring. He is exclaiming to see this, while the other friend told him, "These sprouts soon will die." So this sort of mindset. I also shown something on the right side of the screen. One sees a glass of water, half the glass of water. One sees it as half full, while the other sees as a half empty. So this viewpoint, let's examine further. Pessimist thinks of a worst possible outcome, typically, while the optimist has an upbeat view of the future, or upbeat view of the situation. If we choose to look at this in little detail, why it is so. Okay? A pessimist happened to see only the negative aspect of the situation, ignoring the positives. Okay, he chooses to look at only the negatives. While an optimist obviously look for a more favorable outcome on an event or a situation. So, if you look further, okay, let's analyze this. Okay, let's analyze this in little more detail. So, a pessimist also, this reason for pessimism arises from a fear. There could something happen to the person before. It is not that somebody is a pessimist by nature. Something would have happened in the times. It is a fear of failure, lack of confidence, fear of taking risk, afraid of obstacles, and not trying. Hence, with all that said, not trying and missing opportunities to make progress. On the other hand, the other extreme is also possible. So, a overly optimistic person, imagine even sitting on a sinking ship, going after the deck and exclaiming, looking around and saying, "Oh, what a great view of the future." And, the ship is sinking. So, these are the extremes. So, what is that we can think about? What is the best way forward? Is a pessimism versus optimism versus action? Let's look at the history. History teaches us many times the right way forward. One of the greatest things I studied is, and also world knows this, Viktor Frankl is one of those Holocaust survivors. This happened during the World War II, where Hitler chose to, take away people. He wanted to dominate the world. He hated the Jewish. He wanted to mass exterminate thousands of Jewish people. He did that. All these Jewish people were put up in a concentration camps, and they are made to die in gas chambers. They are exterminated, mass murdered, of which Viktor Frankl saw his own friends and family tortured and killed. He seems to be left with a single certain outcome, that death is imminent, yet he chose to survive. He did multiple different things, and finally when he survived, he wrote this book, worth reading. And what it said is, when we no longer able to change a situation, we change ourselves, we change our attitude towards it. One thing, someone cannot take away from you is the freedom to choose one's own attitude, given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way out of this. He simply made a choice. Other example you can see is Mahatma Gandhi, who brought us freedom from British. He chose a non-aligned movement to force British out of India. Hence, you could see choice of action is something that is coming common. It is becoming common here. A leader creates a future by making this choice. He looks at both positive and negative outcomes, positive aspects of the situation. He looks at the aspects of the situation and sees the possibilities. Failure is a possibility, so is success. Hence, he chooses to be successful. And not only that, he doesn't predict, he keeping aside the prediction, focus on the action that will lead to result. This is the biggest aspect of a leader, who chooses to looks at the situation, positives and negatives of it, and takes action to move forward. This is a mark of a leader. We can look at what is our greatest teacher, Guru, Jagat Guru, Krishna says, Karmani vadikaraste ma paleshu kadachana ma karma phalahetur bhurte sangostava karmani. You have right to perform action. You have the rights to perform action. This is what we saw. Viktor Frankl said the same thing. Gandhi chose. Do not be attached to the fruits of the action. And at the same time, do not be in inaction. Krishna is encouraging you to take action. So with that said, it will bring an end to the assessment of pessimism. Then you can look at the positives and negatives of it. Choose to take action. Choose to take positive action. And at the end, what Krishna also said, do not be attached to the fruits of action. So I have an assignment for you. Among this, the assignment is this: find more about this book, Man in Search of Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Pessimism, optimism, and what Viktor Frankl did is of great lesson for all of us. You can look at audio, video. There are many versions of this available. You can choose to go through it and come back to me with your review. Mahatma Gandhi, the question for you. You would have studied in history. I'm not giving you a history assignment. I'm asking you to Look at the choices Mahatma Gandhi made. Is it right or wrong? What were the choices? Why he chose to take this path? Hence, he can write to me back on this. Appreciate it. Namaste. Hari Om.